This is the story of Rolls-Royce. Rolls-Royce makes the most luxurious cars in the world, and the richest people in the world dream of owning a Rolls-Royce. But surprisingly, this luxurious Rolls-Royce was started by a boy whose entire childhood was spent doing child labor in poverty. Welcome, everyone. Today, I am going to share a story that will not only motivate you but also help you improve your English. This is the story of Henry Royce, the genius who built Rolls-Royce from the ground up. So, sit back, relax, and let's begin this incredible journey. The story begins in 1863. Henry Royce is born in a small village in England. When Royce was only 4 years old, his father's business failed. His entire family was on the streets. But this was just the beginning of problems. By the age of 9, Royce lost his father forever, because of which his mother had to work as a maid, and Royce started delivering newspapers. Till now, Royce's future was filled with darkness. But at the age of 14, a turning point came in his life. One of his aunts saw potential in Henry. She went to the Great Northern Railway Company. She joined Royce as an apprentice. In the next 3 years, Royce worked day and night. He read dozens of books and worked in a factory. He learned carpentry, maths, and most importantly, electronics. At the age of 17, he was a skilled mechanic. At the age of 21, he was working as an engineer in a company called Maxim Western. When financial troubles threatened to shut down Maxim Western, Royce had a choice: take a safe job elsewhere, or risk everything to start his own company. But he decided to open his own electrical engineering company. He used his £20 savings and started a small office space in Manchester, F.H. Royce and Company. He also joined his friend, Ernest Claremont, as a partner. Initially, Royce did whatever he could to survive, like repairing sewing machines, fixing electrical fittings, and more. But Royce saw that demand for electrical fittings and lightings was increasing, so he started manufacturing arc lamps, bulb holders, and electronic doorbells. This changed the company's fate. By 1900, the company's sales had crossed £20,000. At the age of 38, Royce had a family. They were planning to build a huge factory. Everything was going well. Royce was finally seeing success, but his journey was far from over. Then a twist comes in the story. In 1901, German and American companies entered the British electronics market. Competition increased and the prices of electronics equipment fell. Royce's business began to crumble and started crashing. As the business failed, Royce's physical and mental health deteriorated, and a doctor advised him to take a break and get fresh air to recover. He was advised to buy a car so that he could travel without strain. Royce took a vacation to recover. He bought a French-made car called Decauville. This car made a lot of noise. Brakes were ineffective and overheating was a problem. For a perfectionist like Royce, this was unacceptable. So he decided to make minor modifications. But he redesigned the car. The result? A vehicle far superior to the original Decauville car. This gave Royce the confidence to build his own car. He could even start a car business. He assembled a team and started designing his new car. He was sent to a workshop for casting. Eventually, Royce's 10 horsepower and 2-cylinder car started taking shape. In terms of quietness, lightness, durability, and reliability, this car was superior. On April 1, 1904, it was tested on the road. In its first test, it covered a distance of 50 kilometers without any problem. Royce made 2 more cars of the same model. They were tested and improved. They made world-class cars, but they were not capable of delivering these cars to the world. This is the entry of the second hero of the story, Charles Rolls. Royce was presenting his cars in an exhibition. Charles Rolls spotted these cars. Charles Rolls was a passionate motorist. He was doing a successful business of superior quality cars. Rolls was already looking for a luxury British car maker. So he met Royce and saw the cars closely. He was impressed by Royce. He told his business partner that he has found the world's greatest engineer. Charles Rolls and Henry Royce agreed to start a joint venture to sell these cars. The name of the car was going to be Rolls-Royce. In March 1906, Rolls-Royce Limited was officially established. For Rolls-Royces, 10, 15, 20, and 30 horsepower models were to be supplied. Rolls-Royce believed that the best way to market a car was to participate in racing tournaments. That's why Rolls-Royce participated in prestigious tournaments, like Isle of Man and Tourist Trophy. Rolls-Royce won those races by using Rolls-Royce cars. Rolls-Royce also made many new speed records with these cars. Rolls-Royce was already established like a great car company, but their most successful car was yet to come. At the end of 1906, Rolls-Royce launched a model with 40 and 50 horsepower and 6 cylinders. Its body color was silver. It was extremely smooth and silent, just like a ghost. That's why it was named Silver Ghost. To market the car and to prove its reliability, Rolls-Royce planned an endurance test of 24,000 kilometers. Silver Ghost was driven for 5 months on Sundays. It was driven continuously day and night, and the distance covered was 24,000 kilometers. Silver Ghost passed this test without any issue. Rolls-Royce also organized many demonstrations, in which they made Silver Ghost pass the whisper test. In this test, they balanced a coin on the bonnet of the car and drove it without dropping it, which proved that this car is extremely smooth. With these strategies, Silver Ghost became popular, like the best car in the world, and it became the first choice of the kings, queens, and every industry leaders of that time. They were getting success from all sides. That's when a terrible incident happened. Along with cars, Charles Rolls was also very passionate about aviation. In 1910, Charles Rolls died in a plane crash, leaving Royce to carry the company forward. 32-year-old Charles Rolls lost his life. This incident had a significant impact on Rolls-Royce, and he was struggling to cope with the loss. However, in 1911, he faced yet another setback. His health began to decline rapidly, and doctors diagnosed him with bowel cancer. He underwent a major surgery, but even after the procedure, doctors predicted that he had only 3 months to live. Despite his condition, Rolls-Royce continued refining the design and engineering of the Silver Ghost. Then, something extraordinary happened. After 3 months, he made a full recovery. Upon his return, he introduced significant upgrades to the Silver Ghost, including increased ground clearance, improved suspension, and a stronger chassis. At that time, Rolls-Royce noticed a growing trend of putting personalized mascots on the bonnet of the car. However, the company was concerned that some of these mascots were inappropriate and could harm Rolls-Royce's reputation. To maintain their prestigious image, they decided to create their own official mascot. For this, they used a British actress named Eleanor Thornton as the inspiration along with a model. The sculpture depicts a woman leaning forward with her arms stretched backward, as if being carried by a strong wind. This emblem represents elegance, freedom, and speed. It was named the Spirit of Ecstasy, where ecstasy signifies overwhelming joy. With such enhancements, Rolls-Royce experienced a rapid rise in both sales and profits. By 1913, Rolls-Royce's profits had exceeded £90,000, and the company was planning to expand its branches internationally. However, an unforeseen event nearly brought Rolls-Royce to ruin: World War I. The war began in 1914, but Rolls-Royce was unprepared for its impact. The global economy collapsed, severely affecting luxury car manufacturers like Rolls-Royce. Sales plummeted, and the company was forced to lay off employees. Many believed that Rolls-Royce would not survive the war. But Rolls-Royce had a different strategy. The company approached military authorities and discovered a critical need for reliable, high-performance vehicles for the war. In response, Rolls-Royce modified the Silver Ghost, transforming it into an armored car. The vehicle was reinforced with 8mm thick armor, and a revolving turret was installed, equipped with a machine gun. This armored version was used in military operations, particularly in the harsh desert landscapes of the Middle East, and also played a key role in spying missions. Additionally, the smooth drive of the Silver Ghost made it an ideal vehicle for transporting wounded soldiers. Many Silver Ghosts were converted into war ambulances, designed with ample space for stretchers, medical equipment, and nurses. Electric lighting was installed to facilitate nighttime medical missions, and these ambulances went on to save thousands of lives. Lastly, thanks to its luxurious features and reliability, Rolls-Royce vehicles became the preferred choice for high-ranking officers, diplomatic missions, and royal messengers during the war. While working with the military, Rolls-Royce realized that the British Air Force depended a lot on French companies for airplane engines. The government wanted a British company to supply these engines. Seeing this as a big opportunity, Rolls-Royce decided to enter the aero engine business. To make this happen, Rolls-Royce himself learned aero engine design and, in 1915, launched his first engine, the Eagle. This engine was lighter, more reliable, and used less fuel than others. Because of this, the British Air Force ordered 500 Eagle engines by the end of the year. But Rolls-Royce didn't stop there. This was just the beginning. Rolls-Royce was far from done. At the end of 1915, Rolls-Royce developed the Hawk engine for light aircraft. In 1916, they introduced the Falcon engine, a smaller version of the Eagle. Then, in 1918, they created the Condor engine for large and long-range aircraft. These advanced engines gave Britain a major advantage in air combat, spying missions, anti-submarine warfare, and bombing operations. This technological edge played a crucial role in their victory. Rolls-Royce's entry into aero engine manufacturing proved to be a game-changing decision. Even today, Rolls-Royce engines power thousands of commercial and military aircraft worldwide. In 1918, World War I came to an end. For the next 15 years, Rolls-Royce focused on both cars and aero engines. During this time, they introduced a smaller and more affordable car called the 20. However, its sales were not very strong. By 1925, competition in the luxury car market had grown, with brands like Bentley, Del Mar, and Cadillac entering the scene. Rolls-Royce needed a bold and powerful car to maintain its dominance. To achieve this, they replaced the Silver Ghost and introduced the Phantom, which featured better performance and four-wheel brakes. The Phantom was very successful, and it made Rolls-Royce the leader of the luxury car market once again. The Phantom II was later launched, and it was also very popular. In 1931, Rolls-Royce bought Bentley, which was about to go bankrupt. After this, Rolls-Royce made another famous car, the Bentley 355L, which was a perfect mix of Rolls-Royce's luxury and Bentley's speed. But sadly, Henry Rolls-Royce never got to see this car himself. On April 22, 1933, at the age of 70, he took his last breath, just a few months before the car went into production. After Sir Henry Royce's passing, Rolls-Royce went through many ups and downs. On one side, they introduced legendary cars, like the Phantom 3, Silver Shadow, and Ghost. But on the other side, they faced financial difficulties in the 1960s. In 1971, Rolls-Royce faced a huge financial crisis due to the high cost of making the RB211 jet engine. The company had no choice but to declare bankruptcy. After this, the British government took control of Rolls-Royce and kept the aero engine business running. In 1973, the car division was separated and became Rolls-Royce Motors. And currently, Rolls-Royce is owned by BMW Motors. But even today, Rolls-Royce is the greatest symbol of ultimate luxury due to its iconic cars. Owning a Rolls-Royce is like owning a masterpiece. Henry Royce's story is a reminder that greatness isn't born, it's built. Through hard work, resilience, and an unwavering commitment to excellence, Royce turned his dreams into reality. And in doing so, he created a legacy that continues to inspire generations. If you enjoyed this journey, hit that like button, subscribe for more amazing stories, and tell us what's your dream Rolls-Royce. Let's talk luxury in the comments.